get Purify, man.
Yeah, well,
You just get Purify.
I mean, we did see the last game.
Even the heroes that counter her just seem to not do that much. I think the laning phase you get from
There we go.
First pick Pharsa. You got to. I think right now I've been saying this for the past month or two. She is the mage right now for me in the mid lane. She belongs in the ban pool or something like this. Now, red side, Kalea.
I think they let go of Kalea. I think you go straight into Gatot here, and then you're looking for an immediate answer down by the gold lane, which I'm thinking is probably going to be Granger.
Oh,
Talk Granger.
Granger Rush. I was thinking maybe a Moskov Rush.
Well, either a Granger Rush or we immediately lean into Lancelot, right? Because again, you want to afflict what is going to be coming out from the side of RRQ side. The problem is that if you show Lancelot, it's almost guaranteed to be Phoveus from RRQ.
Good call. The once you said Lancelot, I'm like, that's actually genius, because that's what RQ wants, I think, at this point. They do still have opportunity, though. They can still, because of what we know with utility, they can still pick up Fredrin here if they want. They have the burst damage behind it. Maybe they go for Granger Fred here and just kind of solid up. They have their damage, and then they can fill out the rest after.
Yeah, Granger Fred looks like two very powerful picks right now for RRQ. Do they lean into that? Sounded like a Granger. It's not a Fredrin. They go for the Phoveus first, which might come back to bite them, because SRG, if I'm SRG, I will be committing bans right away to Akai, Fredrin, take Susagen out of his comfort, put him in an assassin yet again.
Does SRG pick up EXP, though, here, before we see what happened last game where they get the glue or something against the Phoveus? They need something that's going to do okay in lane against the Phoveus, and with CC gone, it's like, what else do you have in the arsenal to really deal with that?
Honestly, if SRG has it, they can go Akai XP for Cram. It becomes quite even in trade. Sometimes you can slightly beat it, but then you have the heavy spin to mess up the Phoveus in the first place.
I don't disagree. I think that Akai is okay, but Glue is always the go-to in this matchup. I think Cram has played like thousands of games of Glue into the Phoveus every single time, and that's the risk that SRG is willing to take here, right? But this opens up a couple of possibilities. Now that we see what Toy is going to be playing, SRG, I think at this point are trying to figure out what is the mid pick that's going to be able to counter everything on the side of RRQ, and I think that's where we're going to see the flex pick. It might just be the Zitian all over again as a means, but we saw how game one went. It's a little risky.
You mentioned the Valentina earlier. At least you get the Feathered Airstrike with that pick. Much earlier in this day, I mentioned something like the Novaria, something to at least have big range.
Oh, yes.
And at least poke, and at least not ever be in range of the Pharsa. It's not going to clear, it's not going to maybe rotate as fast, but at least you have range and you have that backline arsenal.
Oh, they banned the Selena.
Selena would have been another long-range great pick.
Yeah, it's a really good prediction there by RQ.
That's really smart. That's really smart. That means he has to go even further down the list of potential things to pick. You need burst. That's the problem. You need a lot of burst to make sure this Kalea pick is not wasted, and you need divers to jump in the backline. So they've already figured out their divers, right? They have a pseudo burst coming in from that Lancelot, assuming he gets his first two items. But now the big issue is whether or not you have somebody that can either clean up the fight, which potentially either the flex picks coming up from the side, but specifically Innocent is Roger, or is he just going to double down and be like, all right, I'm going to play Claude again. That way I can kind of like cut down on the tanks, and more importantly so, kind of bypass the Feathered Airstrike.
I think they could save gold for last pick. Aerothel's maybe a possibility, but they're I think RQ's on the same track of me of like they need a long range mage right now, something that can pop up. Kadita also still open, another pick that we've seen depending, but it's like who do they pick first here? That's the hard thing for me for SRG. It's who do we want to try to get the last counterplay as?
I think RQ's just going to end up with an Akai again, and then that will force SRG to go Valentina just so that they have the heavy spin on their side as well. So in a way, it's them getting an Akai without having to pick an Akai. But then you don't have the range. You are going to be getting uncomfortably close to the members of RQ.
I think the call is on Innocent. Yep, there we go. Innocent will have to make the final call here, because at the end of the day, Stormy understands that his role is to try to maximize his value. But with this Beatrix pick, it now comes to, I must fight and I must execute well. Instant response. Joy, and as well as the Gato to immediately look to punish this Beatrix.
That is tough. RQ this time, for my eyes, does seem a little ahead in terms of just predicting how SRG is going to approach this. SRG last pick Still need a mage.
Yeah, I think it has to be Valentina at this point. Not only can you get the Feathered Airstrike, you also get the ultimate of the Joy, as we've seen as one of the old responses to a Joy is you pick up the Electrifying Beats as well as a Valentina as your escape tool, sometimes as your engage tool.
But then you give up pressure over mid lane almost
Exactly.
immediately. The 2v2 is not good in the earlier stages of the game, and it's like, oh sure, you survive, but Gothot makes it obsolete, so they always get first move.
I wonder if they go something like Valir or Veil, something weird.
I'm thinking like Veil, Nana, I mean Zetian's like okay, but there we go. They go for the Kimmy this time around, at least to try and punish, put a brass tax on them. It's still hard.
All right, real quick, your vibe, is it SRG or RRQ, Gideon?
I'm thinking that RRQ have a much better lineup this time around.
Trex?
I like RQ's draft overall. Not saying that SRG's isn't possible to pull off, but once again, they're in a spot where there's a lot of pieces, and it kind of has to work out perfect for them.
Our analysts have spoken and we are split. What does the arena feel like? Amazon Arena, is it going to be SRG or is it going to be RRQ? As we head into the decider, will the Kingdom get redemption or will SRG continue their push forward to their title? Brigida, Naisu, let's go!
Thank you so much once again to the panel here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Naisu, and Brigida to bring you our final match for this series. It all comes down to this one game. It's been one heck of a series already, a back and forth and some one-sided games, but that can all go behind us as both teams focus on this last and final one. Brigida, it seems like they're all for RRQ. What do you think here? Who's got the better lineup for this game 5?
I mean, beyond the better lineup, I'm also considering momentum because it does seem like RRQ are still riding off what happened in the previous game. And that reflects in as early as 30 seconds into this deciding game. Yoon was already forced to recall and use the flicker. And if this happens time and time again, we might see another scenario of hesitation, which literally will be the biggest hindrance towards SRG playing their game, because it was already mentioned by our panelists as well. So many pieces have to come together for them to be able to pull off the better game.
It's been the case so far throughout the series, really. And a lot of that pressure still, you know, of course, like we said, the XP laners doing their part, and even down to the roaming potential, but it's going to be a little bit different because, you know, even in the gold lane, like the fact that this is a Beatrix in the hands of Innocent, this is going to be a different game than what a lot of people are used to seeing in the sense of usually Moskov in his hands. So now the game plan changes a bit for them. This whole series has been about team fighting, and this is one of the lineups that I feel like for SRG OG Esports, to make it work, they have to be able to find the right timing for things. I mean, that has been the case anytime a Kalea is there, but then as well, it might be an early fight already.
Edok went in with the Unbreakable. Phantom Execution already committed by Sekaiza as well, but he doesn't get to find a kill onto Edok. Only the Revitalize was forced out of RRQ in that scenario.
That's all they got. They might still go for more. They put some pressure here on Rins.
Oh, Thorned Rose damages Rins a lot, but Sutsujin Electrifying Beats also deals back enough damage to SRG OG. Such a good back and forth for both of these teams so far. No clear advantage just yet. It might happen here.
And a lot of this brings it to the first objective, the turtle. A charge up from Edok.
Oh, he flickered to go in, and the Feathered Airstrike. Things look so good for RRQ, but the objective falls into the hands of SRG OG. AOG also committed by Edok as well, but they might not get anything more out of that.
It's crazy how the fight up at the top side of the map turned into eventually that turtle. Nice little take there from Innocent. But again, it's nothing too crazy. Yes, SRG got the turtle. That's fine. RQ gets the first blood, though, and that goes in the hands of Dyrant. Again, a lot of the trending here for the XP laners is once they get that advantage, they play into it. But still, we're seeing how both these lineups, so Ritz.
Oh, the Wings by Wings got cancelled, but still, he's alive. Like, Yums won't risk going in and potentially getting punished by RRQ, because right now they're the ones who need to do a bit of the catching up. RRQ are clearly in the lead right now. Fortunately, they're still able to somehow control majority of their lane. Not too big of an advantage is handed over to any of the members of RRQ just yet. But the way things are going, it does seem like RRQ have less things to worry and think about. Like, whenever they decide to go in, they have ways to just constantly reposition themselves and get out, but now they decide to go in and commit onto the kill, maybe on Sekai, maybe on Cram, but he still has the puncture to get out. Now there is the mount coming in from Cram. They will find the kill on Dyron instead.
Great job there from Cram to go ahead and bring Dyron back. That's exactly why you pick up the glue in some of these instances where you can reposition for the team to take favor of that. So good play up there. He's going to get a little bit of extra damage on that turret, that extra gold that he needs to go ahead and build in on this glue. So Turtle will be up here shortly, but you know, going back to it, it's you got a couple purifies to go ahead and utilize if you're RRQ, and over on the other side, a lot of the work that they've been doing is getting those flickers down from SRG, and we could see the same thing happen from time to time before either team actually commits to the Turtle. So right now, RRQ's got positioning, they've got that favorable option, but Sekai's on the Lancelot can just kind of join into this fight, and that's why they make their way here. Cram's going to zone out Rins for now, and RRQ will pull off, and he'll go for the reset.
It could have been a 3v3, but now SRG, it seems like they're all complete. Phantom Execution already committed. They just a slight reset, but still Sekai's gets the last hit. There's the penetration coming from Innocent as well, and they get to burst down Dyron. They have to walk away. They already lost a member. Now SRG, this is where it works for them, and Innocent getting that kill. Massive, already granting him the early Blade of Despair.
Yep, good for him. He rotated on up. And I thought both gold laners would actually join that, but totally decided to do some extra damage to that mid turret. And the fact that the kill and the objective go over help Val. Oh no! Stormy!
Such a well-coordinated attack from Sutsujin and Rins. The first hit from the veteran airstrike didn't land, so it wasn't an immediate stun, but Sutsujin was there either way to supply a bit more of damage. And now what Toy has been really trying to work on is finally handed over to RRQ. That's the first turret that's taken down in this game, and if RRQ are able to keep this up, this is way too similar to how they were able to establish that dominating lead in the previous game.
Oh, here we go, concealed from Yumes. He's going for it.
That's the Flicker title strike into the Menace Rage for Dyron, gets bursted down once again. The Kalea Beatrix combo has been working too well for SRG so far in terms of getting the pickoffs, even in the tankiest heroes. But now Yumes still trying to go for it. Toy will just try to damage that tier 2 turret a bit, but they might have to walk away now. These are 4 members of SRG OG who might try to go for the chase. Now they try to lock down onto Edok. Doesn't have a way out. No, actually has the AOG. Doesn't need a flicker or anything to just reposition out of there.
Oh, they want this turret.
Yeah, but they might have to hand over this turret, not unless they really want to fight for it. Now Edok pays with his life.
A great shot from Innocent. I'm not sure if they'll get more, but they've been down on this bottom side of the map quite a bit. Good clearing up there on top too. Cram in trouble.
That's a decent amount of damage, but another Menace Rage to burst down Dyron. Always the victim of the Menace Rage. Electrifying beats from Sutsujin, though nearly taking down Innocent, but he has a flicker. Phantom Execution doesn't land as well, and they just get a bit of information, but will have to let go of this turtle for now.
They fought really hard for all of this in the last minute. They spent so much time on this side of the map.
Whoa.
Get the objective. They'll take a little bit more. Sekai's holding Edok here. In SRG, they're in a good position now. You're seeing where that power spike for them is starting to come online. Innocent is starting to be a problem. He's got the 3 kills now as well.
Yep. It's these 2 guys up top. It's Yumes and Innocent.
It's the boys.
It's the boys. The way they're just so coordinated so far in this game, it's doing wonders for SRG OG. I feel like this is the most coordinated we've seen them so far. Sutsujin barely surviving that. Sekai's will he decide to dash in once again. There's the electrifying beat! Just barely touches the Thorgros.
Hold on for a little longer because Sutsujin getting really close there. Endless battle now picked up for Sekai, so there's going to be a fight.
Oh, Tsunami Slam committed onto Dyron again, but has the flicker. Doesn't get to receive the Menace Rage this time, but again, Edok's brought back, but has the AOG to also get away. So SRG aren't able to convert that into a kill yet again, but Toy, decent amount of damage already coming in. Riz, Wings by Wings! Dodges the Renner's apathy. such a close fight between these two so far.
I think they want more. They're gonna be focusing on Cram. Now they want control of this tier 1 up top, but it should be cleared up. Sakai's is here. He's gonna go for it.
Doesn't land the Phantom Execution, but has enough damage to deal with Rins. Okay, who would have thought? SRG, even despite the situation, they have other members to rely on to go for the surprise attacks. And so RRQ, they might have to consider that and not be too complacent in terms of grouping up together, in as much as that's how they really utilize the strengths of their lineup.
Big item pickup here too for Cram. A Radiant Armor now available. Some of that magic resist going to play into the part. They're going to go for the slam.
Oh, Edok is the target once more. He receives the Bennett's Rage once again and gets blasted by SRG OG. That's a successful pickup for their team right as the Lord has spawned in the bottom lane. But if you look at majority of the other members or the teams, it's just pretty equal. It's mostly really on the EXP lane, which I feel SRG OG was really keen on trying to shut down. Phantom Execution towards Rinse and Tor, but Dyron gets bursted down once again. Suzuki goes in, but might just have to disengage. Innocent, he flickers in. He knew he had the damage.
He knew he had it, but now they don't have a jungler. And right now, RRQ, even without Dyron, they could go ahead, set things up for their favor. Unless SRG does something about it. AOG in the mid lane, Cram.
AOG to the face. Edok doing a great job at surviving and sustaining, but Sutsujin might come from the side, try to burst down a couple members here from SRG OG, but now Innocent with the Renner could only do so much. I feel like he just switched it a moment ago, so he couldn't dish out that much damage if he doesn't target it well enough. Oh, but he wasn't in the range of the Bennett's Rage. That saved Edok.
Sutsujin looking for more, gonna go under the turret with the beats, under the tier 1, but stopped in his tracks. And it has been a back and forth, all of this, between both the teams. But the positioning now for this Lord here is RRQ.
Yeah, I have to say the knockups coming in from Yumes have been very, very crucial though. Either in looking for the targets to set up with a Tsunami Slam, or just to literally deny RRQ from chasing down the other members of SRG OG, similar to what happened with Sutsujin earlier right now. But there's the Fettered Airstrike, another 2-man knockup coming in from the Tidal Strike. Toy, unfortunately, is the first to fall for RRQ. You do not want that.
Sutsujin, he can still come in from that backside, but he's going to be stopped in his tracks. Cram will zone them out. It might come down to a retribution battle if they decide to go for it.
Oh, Rins, will he cast his ultimate right now? Gets threatened here by Sakai as he goes in. AOG out for Edok, but they find the kill on Dyron. Now Sutsujin might not find the right angle to go in anymore. He's only left alone here as SRG take the Lord.
A great team fight, a great juggle around that Lord for SRG. They did lose the Holy Shield up top to the minions pushing in, but nonetheless they won that fight. They get the objective. We'll take a look at the instant replay again from STC. This was really good. They zoned out the right members of this fight. Sutsujin didn't have an angle to go for it. I mean, he sees Cram and he's like, I can't go for this. And then they held that Lord from going into a complete reset to be able to secure it. And now they're at the base of RRQ.
Yep. That pull yourself together for Yumes is becoming such a problem. Like, he almost always has his flicker to threaten RRQ, to keep them on their toes, and for Rins to just not be able to dish out the Fettered Airstrike as often as he wanted to. Even in that moment where he has the vision on the objective, he just couldn't, because too many members of SRG OG could decide to dive in at any given moment. And I feel that that's what makes up majority of the idea of their lineup too. It's literally formation breaking, formation breakers for SRG OG.
Man, if we look at this, the items too, you know, Dyron, what a roller coaster of a series. Like, this game, he's been pretty much just stopped. He is a punching bag for SRG OG Esports to go ahead and utilize, because he has been constantly picked off. He doesn't have much defense at all. You know, he's got the blade armor, but that's about it. And a little extra defense. Now, that might be somewhat okay in consideration he's playing a Phoveus, but if you're picked off with the Tsunami Slam and then immediately deleted, then the value of you being the XP laner, being that kind of front body other than Edok, puts Edok in that situation where a lot of times he's the one trying to get away, disengage with the Avatar of the Guardian instead of engaging with it. So it's been a really good just decision-making from SRG to play around the fact that, you know, they have this Kalea and even down to the Traction Pulse, but also the fact that Cram is just so damn tanky that you can't really deal too much with him. And he's built this glue up really well. He's also now got an immortality. I mean, look how much damage this guy has taken.
Yeah.
He can basically go 1v5 on the glue and be okay for the most part, until RRQ gets to the point, itemization-wise, where they catch up. Now, how long is that? Probably another 5 minutes or so. Like, they need to get there. At least for Toy, he is on par with Innocent. And imagine, Innocent's got 5 kills. That's really good for Toy, but if he's taken out early, you lose a lot of that.
Cyclone Eye into his death!
Oh.
Tyron did not anticipate that, but Sekais, they find the kill onto Toy as well. So Sujin gets to trade out Sekais, but that's an exchange of 3.
It's a 3-to-1 trade, Brigida, right now. SRG, they know the shield is down. They're going to push into the base turret.
Oh, Purify already used there by Rins. He had to dodge the traction pulse. Conceal coming in from SRG OG. They only want one thing,